Okay guys, welcome to another video screencast. Today we will look at menu creation using the select command, or we'll also look at conditional testing using the if and else statements, and also the case statement. So these are special kind of conditional testing facility. So for instance, you want to test if a value is true or false, then something should happen and so on. So let's see how that's done. But before we do that, let's quickly look at menu creation using the select command. So this we're picking up from where we left last time, where we're trying to do some basic arithmetic. So I'm going to clear the screen and make a copy of the script3.sh. This time around we'll call it script4.sh, and we're going to edit script 4, and here we're going to say this is our fourth script, and the purpose is to show how to use let's see how to create menus and conditional testing. Okay, so now that I've done that, now we can cut out all the loops we did in previous class, and then we start from the beginning. Menus are no different than the for loops. The only difference in this case being that menus shows the contents of a list. So for instance, in this case, let's say looking at our for loop that we did earlier about cities, let's see how we can make that into a menu. So if you notice here, the previous the time we did that, let me just quickly remind you of the for loop syntax. We said for city, which is a variable name, in then a list. So we started Abuja, Calabar, Lagos, Kano, let's add one Yola. Alright, so let's just leave this as it is anyway. I'm just calling states and cities, or just cities anyway. Alright, so we say do something and then done. So what we're going to do will be in this block of address, or the brace. So in this case, what we want to do is just echo city. Right, so as you expect, if we run this script, talking of script 4 here, you can see all the cities in order, but this is just a file. Now, how do we turn this into a menu? It's as simple as actually changing the for loop, in this case, to a select command. Okay, so once you just change this to select, notice what happens. If you run the script again, script 4, notice what happens here. I have a menu format. You can see Abuja, Calabar, Lagos, Kano, and Yola. You can see all this have been given a number, and here you can see question mark awaiting my input. So anything I type here, you can see here by selecting 2, I've selected Calabar, selected Abuja, selected Yola and Kano, and all. So but the problem in this case is we keep running into this endless loop until we get so tired and all. So that's not a good way to design it, but just to show you anyway, we can see we've successfully converted that list into a menu. So if you're thinking of creating an interactive shell script that will interact with the user, let's say you want to ask the person of a particular value, and you want to take the input and then store it in a variable, then you can do that using a different command. Use the called the read command. But until then, let's just quickly look at the select, and let me clear this. Right now I can't do anything until I kill the script by using the Control Z option. So the only way we can enhance this, one of the difference to the for loop, is if I go to script 4, I'll have to introduce a way to break out of the loop, right? So I add the break keyword, and then I put semicolon. Now if you notice, I told you earlier that in Bash we don't use semicolons, and that is right, but only in few instances. In this case, because we're using the break command, then we have to use a semicolon. Okay, so that's just a syntax anyway, not like a coding style in Bash. Alright, so let's do that, and let me run script 4 again, and this time around if I select 1, notice it showed Abuja, and then it exit kind of left the script. So that was the break command. Alright, so as you can see, this is all it takes to create a menu. And yeah, so another thing we can do anyway is just to make it more interesting. Let's just say I want to know which number the person picked. Let's say picked the third one, the second one. Let me show you how to use the reply variable. This is available within the context of the select statement, or the select keyword. Alright, so let's edit script 4, and let's just say echo city, and for instance, let's just say you said alright, so let's see echo let me just put this in a bracket. So let's say you selected. Alright, so in this case I just want to escape the global variable in this case. So there's a global variable which is the reply global variable, and I'm just going to put a hyphen there. So let's see what happens to this, what changed. Alright, so let's edit the script. Obviously I made a mistake, but alright, for some reason my script is not working, so pardon me here, let me just quickly troubleshoot this for you. Alright, weird. Alright, so let me. Alright, so you can see here the script run. Let me just pull out and tell you what I changed. You can see here I am trying to escape the symbols here. This is just the brace, the brackets, or the parentheses as well. Alright, so I'm just going to run this script again, and if I select Abuja, you can see you selected, and I was trying to escape this side of things. Okay, so that's why I was using slash there, just to exactly tell us what it is. So the reply is basically what you have selected, so it stores the number what you've selected, and of course gives you the number in there. Alright, so you can see that's that for select, and you can do quite more with select and all if you want. So for instance, let me just do this, then we move to the conditional testing. This is just to make sure you understand select. So script 4, and let's just say you want to make it more interactive, right? You just want to say just at the top here, I just want to say please select a city. Okay, then here you selected city. Sorry, so let's just change this output a bit. So here you selected city, so you selected Abuja with city number. Then here we can actually output the, in this case we're outputting the reply variable, so reply global variable. So let's run our script 4. Here you can see what it's done. So you can see here it says please select a city, and of course you can see the new line didn't work, so pardon me here. Sometimes this thing's just alright, so let's see, new line, and you, alright, no, it didn't work. I just like to make you guys see me sometimes troubleshoot things. Alright, so sorry for that anyway. So let me explain what I changed and what I did. Echo also takes a parameter that allows you to specify what to do with the output. So in this case you can see please select the CD and then the next line, and that is what exactly the -n -e option allows you to do. So you can see here I said echo -e, so echo the output in a way that it actually puts the line in a new line, it creates a new line by default, and then our script runs. So hopefully you've seen the script 4 run, and you can see here, please select the city, and if I select 2 Calabar, and then you can see you selected Calabar with city number 2. So you can see how you can make your script so interesting and so fun. So just this program is just powered by just a few lines of in our script, and which is just this. Okay, so you can see how powerful Bash is. Bash is weird, but it's interesting as well. Alright, so now we've spent quite a lot of time, 10 minutes roughly, and we've been talking about menu selection, menu creation and all. Let's quickly look at conditional testing. Now, just like other programming languages, conditional testing is where you have to use your if and else statements. So if a condition is true, then run this, else run the other opposite of what is supposed to be true. So if a number is greater than 10, for instance, then echo that number is too big, or the person entered a particular number. Alright, so let's go back to our script 4.sh. Alright, so in this case, what I want to do now is I want to run the if-else conditional statement. So now let's just quickly come up with an example. So let's just say for some reason that we want to use our echo-e. By now you know how to use the echo-e. Basically just helps us output the result with any line. Alright, so let's say enter a number not greater than maybe than 5. Alright, so now that we've done that, now so let's just read this is let me just put it now this is something new. What is read, right? So read is a command that listens for an input, and anything the person types on the input and press and enter, then it takes that value and stores it in a variable. Okay, so what I'm now doing is I'm now saying that take the value of whatever the person is going to type in the command prompt and store it in a variable called, so in this case I'm calling it num. Okay, this is short for number. And now I can, since I have the value stored in the variable, I can easily run my conditionals, right? So the conditionals, the way you run the conditionals too is this: you create spaces, and then within the spaces now you can now check for the number. So let's just say num, so I can use the greater than and then maybe 5, right? So we're trying to check if the number is 5, or if the number is greater than 5. If it's then if it's greater than 5, then we finish the if statement. Alright, we finish the if statement using the fi command or the fi or fi command. Alright, so now that you've seen how that's done, so what's going to happen within the then? So the then is what we're going to do. So let's just say then echo num, or we can just echo you entered a number greater than 5, right? Else, or that's basically it. So here you can see that we can use it then the if statement. So let's just try it. So let's just run script 4, and here you can see, well, enter a number not greater than 5. 6. You entered a number greater than 5, and obviously the script executed and entered the wrong thing. So you can see here that this is true. So what happens if we put a number less than 5? Well, nothing happens, right? Because we've not created an instance, because in this case the condition is true. Okay, we've entered a number less than 5, which is not greater than 5, and obviously we have not created a place to treat that. So let's now introduce the else statement, which the else statement now is just like a complete negation or negative of the if, right? So if the condition is false or is true, then the else will always be the opposite. So let's say else. Okay, so this is how you use the else command. Now another thing you can do is to, just for completeness sake, you can always add an exit command here. The exit allows you to exit with a particular number. So this is something new. I want you guys to understand. Remember when we said something exited with a particular exit status of 1 to 6, 1 to 7 and all, or 0, you can also create your own customized exit code. Okay, so let's say you want to exit with 4, right? So 4 in this case is bad, right? The number is greater than 5. Else, then we're going to run this inside else. Okay, so else we want to echo you entered then num, right? So script 4, and you can see enter a number not greater than 5. So you can see you entered 3, because this is now run within the else part of our code. So let me just open this so that you can see the sorry, you can see. Alright, so here you can see that the script is okay, it's simple. We're echoing out to the user to enter a number not greater than 5, and here we're running the read command that will allow us to store the value of whatever the person types into num. And here we're checking that if num is greater than 5, then we should echo that the number is greater than 5, and we execute the exit status of 4. Else we just tell them that you entered the value of the number. Alright, just good. So now let's introduce something. Let's test our exit code, right? Alright, and then I'll put 6. Well, we entered this, and if I type the exit status here, you can see that because we execute the number 4, we now have 4 as our exit code. This is personalized and customized to our script here. So you can see how flexible Bash allows you to do. You can change all these values now. So this is cool. This is all. And now so I hope you guys have actually gotten the hang of it. If you don't understand how to use the if-else statement, please stare at the script for a while and understand it. It's just really not so difficult. Another thing we can do is introduce the else if command, or that is the else if. You can always start with if, right? You can always start with if then else, right? And then you can also now do an else if. So if a command is true, if command A is true, then do something else. If command B is true, then do something else, just stop. Alright, so that would be a good conditional flow. So let's modify our script, right? Let's modify our script. Let's just say before we exit, we also want to check something, right? We want to say else if, right? So this is how you type else if in Bash. Use the elif command. Okay, so the elif is the exact meaning for else if, and here we can now say echo you entered a number less than 0. Alright, so what that means is in our else if here, so we now run our conditionals again. So if num, remember num is what we are passing in. So the first time is if you check the first check the first block, is number greater than 5? No, then it outputs this, right? Well, what if the number is not greater than 5? Well, then it's true, but the number is -1. There's a problem. Then we can check the else if here and says, well, as if the num is less than 0, right? So if the number is less than 0, then you entered a number less than 0, and can access like we did. You can always exit with our customized code, exit status of 5, else you entered the number. So let's try this again. Let's run script 4, and let's just say we entered -2, right? Sorry, let me just check the syntax. So here it says, okay, that's my phone again. I'm just trying to get something that just hold on a minute. Let me just check my syntax here. Alright, then that's why. Alright, so because I'm treating this, I just noticed notice if I said if then, right? So else if then, right? So we need to run the then command. So my bad there. So if something then, else if then else, right? So this is something you really need to practice a lot with. So if I put a -2 here, you can see you enter the number less than 0. So what that means is we are running the code in the else if part this time around, right? As opposed to just the echo and the first one and the else. So run it one more time, put a number that is 4, and you entered 4. So hopefully this has made you guys understand the flow of the else if conditional testing. So we're testing if a condition is true. If it's true, then something should happen. Else, that means it's false, and then something should happen. So that's the conditional testing we're doing here. Now the last one in the bags of conditional testing here is a case statement. Now the case is really interesting in the sense that in its own entirety, it's a way to run multiple if-else statements, right? So let's just say a case of something in a particular list, right? Let's just search for a pattern. I think that's the best use case for this kind of syntax. So let's just say, well, let's say I have in my cities, right? I have a name, right? I have a case for something, and within the case, I'm trying to check if a number is true or valid, or I'm trying to check if a number is not true. Alright, so not to confuse you, let me give you an example. Alright, so let's open up our script here, and let's just comment. So you can see pretty quickly we've actually written a long script here. Okay. Alright, so this section is supposed to be for case. Alright, so well, case has one of the weird syntax in Bash so far till date for me. One of the syntax is the case statement usually, like in this case, compares the value of one item to the other, right? So here this is what happens. Now the syntax is case, then the pattern you're looking for. Okay, so let me just call it search pattern. Okay, then in, right, which is a keyword, and then right somewhere here, then you start specifying how you want to tackle that. So this is going to be a place for pattern 1. So if pattern 1 is true, then something happens here. Let's say condition, let's say statement, and then you put double semicolon, right? So can you see how weird this is? So you can keep running this for some time until you get to the end where this is the default. Okay, and you escape using the reverse of case, right, which is weird. So this is the syntax: case, then search pattern in, then of course this is pattern 1, this is pattern 2, and then this is pattern 3, right? So let me just explain anyway, right? Case, now search for search pattern, look for search pattern in this line, right? So if what is here matches any pattern here, then whatever is in the statement close to the pattern gets executed. Alright, so let me comment this. I'm leaving this so that you see the syntax. That's my phone again. Alright, so now let's just cook up some case, right? Alright, so let's just say case. Let's just say I'm looking for a number, right? I'm looking for number 1, or for instance, let's just use positional parameters. Let's just use positional parameters. So I'm going to pass a value in, and I want the value to be compared to a series of patterns I have in there. So I'm going to say in. Then once I have that in, then like we did before, I'm just going to maybe use a variable this time, a string, and obviously I'm just going to say echo maybe you selected 1. Alright, so let's just say 2 and 3, and let's just modify this. This is just a use case I'm trying to come up with here. And then what happens if I don't type any of them? Well, then in this case I just use the default. So whatever I put here is now the default, and I'm just going to say you did not select a number between you did not select a valid number. Okay, so this is how I did it, and let's try and run this program, folks. This is weird, I know, but you just have to practice and look at it. So you did not select a number. Of course I did not, because remember we're using positional parameters. So what if I pass the number 4 to it? Well, you did not select a valid number as expected. What if I select 3? You selected 3. So you can see right now the moment it actually matched the moment it did match the pattern, which is in this case 3. The moment it passed matched the pattern 3, then it ran, you selected 3 and all. So you can see how this is useful in terms of case. So I would have instead been using if what was typed is 3, then if, then if, then if, then if, then. Well, this is much cleaner as opposed to just using if else. Well, of course they all have their downsides, so I will leave that up to you to experiment and find out how to use it. Another use case, for instance, that will be so useful is, imagine a situation where we want to compare two numbers, right? So let's just say we want to compare two numbers. So let me comment this out. Let's just say we also want to comment two numbers, and I write my case, and we use positional parameters to get the number in, and the second number is going to be in its own positional parameter, right? So let's say the second positional parameter. So we're going to always check the first number against the second number. That's what we're trying to do. And here we can just echo the values are the same. All right, then I'm going to put an event. We don't put any valid one, then echo the values are not the same, right? All right, so you can see here this looks not much, but obviously you can see that that is true. And for those of you watching, I'm sure you say, hey, where's a weird semicolon? All right, so let me run the script now. You can see the values are the same. Now wait a minute, why are the values the same? Well, remember, I'm expecting two positional parameters, and in this case the two positional parameters are null or empty. So to empty is equal to empty, which is true. So what, for instance, what if I just put 1? Well, the values are the same. For some weird reason, this is what the system is taking. So let me just try something else. All right, now the values are not the same, right? Because I'm trying to get the value of 1, and 1 is not equal to 1. So if I say 1 is 1, well, then the values are the same, right? If I say 3, the values are not the same, right? So you can see how this small line of code can actually be used in terms of comparison. Well, folks, I know we've actually gone way past the normal time. This is roughly about 30 minutes, and the reason is just to extensively show you a lot of examples with the if-else statements and the case statement, because they are one of the most confusing bits in terms of shell scripting and most programming languages. So hope you've learned quite a lot in this case. If you feel you don't understand it, please, I always urge you to watch the videos again. The beauty with videos is you can always pause them and play them at your own pace, and you can always leave a comment, ask a question, or you can always come send me an email, and I'll be glad to help you. And the URL is always indicated towards the end of the video. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and let me know what you guys think. Okay, so this concludes the series of videos for our CMP319 course, and basically what we're going to be doing is, as additional add-ons and supplementary videos, we can be solving one or two of the projects together, or you can see me or do a screencast on how to solve one of the projects. Then you go ahead and then study it yourself. Alright, so hopefully that makes sense, and from me it's bye bye, and hope to see you next time. So have a nice day.